structures. It is an ecocentric perspective that respects not only humans but also values the natural environment in its own right within the ecosystem. As a social worker, you have a definite you can provide an additional viewpoint on how to prevent unsustainable consumption and environmental damage as well as wildlife crime. As a social worker, you are going and I mean carrying out a number of social work about the rights of everybody and the health point of view, what you have to do that, and uh, how you can lead a good life and also all that. But how you can have an environment friendly life, that is much important. And for even in the topic there you have suggested about what you call green entrepreneurship. The green entrepreneurship, I mean, actually look at it in an approach for biodiversity and climate change mitigation. Actually, we look at it, the undertaking in the western Gate Forest of India. So, how biodiversity conservation can be effectively turned into profitable business. The green entrepreneurship project is organizing the harvest of oil seeds from forest for the regional production of biodiesel and is promoting the sustainable collection of wild medical fruits for the global market. If you look at it, you can easily say that, you can have a green entrepreneurship, you can improve biodiversity, all that. How will you practically implement and you can get a benefit out of it? Even you look at it nowadays, I mean, you have to save our land, not our sea, and not only that, our hills and forest. But you look at it, how we are spoiling. The sea point of view, all chemical waste we are pouring into sea. So because of that, sea biodiversity is totally damaged. And land point of view, look at it. Even you go to Erode or near Karur or other near places, number of the Tirupur, dying factories, how is polluting the earth? Probably you can understand that the chemicals and forest deforestation, mainly the people are cutting trees and all that, they are doing it. And because of various construction activities, uh, erosion, and people are even our own the institute place is a quarry, sand quarry. So people used to dig, I mean, a fertile sand is a fertile soil, and they used to for many things. So all that it is happening rather. So what we need is, so do you mean that we should not do anything? We can do it, but we should try to minimize. And what is you want, what is required, that much only you have to probably consume. We are wasting many things. Even you look at it, even energy conservation, we talk about it. Are we really following energy conservation? Even while you students are coming out of the class, you are not bothering about how many fans are running, how many lights are glowing. Even the last student, while you are coming out of the classroom, you have to switch off the fan, switch off the light. Are we doing it? Even home, you are not doing it. So the energy conservation, a food conservation, water conservation, all that. All things should come from youngsters. And as a youngsters, what you have to teach is to everybody follow. The awareness of eco-friendly way of living, eco-friendly material usage. That is the order of the day. That you have to educate from school days itself. You have to cultivate. Almost you have to propagate to male girls or women, or almost it has to come from home. And not only that, with the textbook, if you read it, that is not sufficient. So it has to come in practice. Every home is going to practice, then whole world will become, according to our expectation. They won't use, normally what we say, eco-friendly material, and you should not use plastics, isn't it? And not only that, you should not use chemicals. அதனால the entrepreneurship people have just mentioned it. Probably I name very few. What are the thing you have to do it? Even they made it. Even ink refill business, if you do that, that is eco-friendly. And even you I mean you propagate on writing about environment consciousness. That is a great service you are doing, and even you support funds or finance. There's a green finance people used to say eco-friendly retail business, sustainable construction materials, whatever building you construct, use eco-friendly material, and eco-friendly even landscaping. And not only that, even bicycle repair and refurbishing. You try to use cycles wherever you go. So, I mean, not long distance, in nearby places, we used to go by car and all that. We are consuming, wasting energy, oil, and because of pollution also increasing. And like this, a number of entrepreneurship, probably you can do that. Farmers market vendor, eco consulting, green housekeeping services, and probably the green Francis, and solar panel installation, eco-friendly cleaning, and reusable plastic bottles, environmental impact and carbon emission lessons, local eco-friendly recycling business. Like this, the entrepreneurship also people have listed. If you just go through that, you can get some idea. So the eco-friendly awareness is a duty of a social worker, and and not only that, you encourage the people, whoever they start any business, that should be eco-friendly. uh, I hope that this international conference will emulate uh, uh, this theme, and if the success of the conference will be if some of you really get insight of the environment I mean problem, and how to mitigate, how to solve such type of environment problem. If you are able to create some people some awareness, that is the great success of the international conference. That's that's what I want to like to convey. And not only that, this sort of conference, many more conferences we should conduct very often, is to create awareness about the environment. So that will definitely bring definitely the society to I mean flourish. And not only that, what Tandai Periyar expected, we need a peaceful world, and uh, and comfortable world, a healthy world, and happy world. I hope that definitely we can achieve with this. Okay, so thank you very much once again for giving me the opportunity. Thank you all. Wish you all.
Thanks a lot for your thought provoking speech and your special interest towards our social work department and encouragement, sir.
Now a great teacher and coordinator at Friend Team Youth, Children and Youth Psychiatric Department, University of Oslo, an educational trainer for leap learning in Africa, and also a teacher for motivation of learning in focus, and want to take care of develop children's inherent zeal and joy of learning at Oslo. Always a motivator for our department in networking, collaborating, and organizing this type of events. I would like to invite our amazing persona, Mr. Ivan Liliason, Chief Executive Officer, Jobs for Development Norway, to deliver the felicitation address.
Okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yes, yes, very much.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for this really kind introduction, and it's really great to see all the familiar faces there at Peria University. I'm really glad to take part again. I met just in 2013. I went to Tamil Nadu and Tanjavur, and that was the starting partnership with the university. And after that, we have been communicating and had some great times together. So I hope that this symposium and this arrangement will benefit all the students well. I'm really encouraged that this topic is also now coming into the social aspect of education. Of course, environmental issues and how to say, sustainable energy is a lot of technical things, technical tools needed, and a lot of industrials needed to make a real transformation. But I'm really glad that this is also a topic for social students. So I hope it will benefit you well, and that all the seminars will be interesting for you, and that we can learn both through collaboration and sharing together. I just want to share a bit about myself. I work presently at the connection to the University Hospital here in Oslo. I'm also working at the foundation, doing some farm works. I will share a bit later. And also part of that, I'm working for an organization called Jobs for Development, where we are assisting communities in areas of education, farming, and entrepreneurship. And one of these countries has been India. So we have had some partnership for some years and also hope to extend that. So I'm glad to keep contact with you still. And I'm really glad that we still have this topic on the agenda. So thank you for all the organizing and the staff at university for hosting this seminar. And let's hope it will be a great day. I will just have a short introduction. There will be many good speakers here today, and maybe I will represent some of the practical guys. You know, when you have a seminar, there is a lot of skilled people from university level sharing a lot of theoretical backgrounds, which is always needed. But for myself, when I started to study, I was always thinking how we can use this in practical life. So I was a bit encouraged by the counselor and the first speaker there, that he said that there is a need for everyone to take part. And especially when you're a student, you feel that it's a big system and it's a long way to make a change. But I can share from myself as well, when I started to study, that there are some seeds that are already planted when you are a student, which is, I think it's a part of your journey in the future. So during your studies, you will hear a lot of different topics, and I'm sure you'll find an area of your future expertise. So I'll just encourage you, don't look down on yourself on your student level today. It will be a lot of possibilities for the future. And just like they say also in the speak here, that all the students, you will be the future and they want to take part in the development in your country, and as we have done here in Norway and the Malawians there. I'm sharing the joy of a green transition and a sustainable future, but I'm also a bit concerned about all the industrial development needed to make a change. Because one is developing a lot of new factories, there's a lot of new technologies that has to be developed, which will take a lot of lots of the challenges and the damage for the environment. So I believe we also need to use the possibilities we have from our recent and the things which is already there. We need to take care of it, and we need to build on what's already in the communities. So in this short presentation, I'll use 3 examples from 3 farm complex and compounds which has been used for environmental purposes. There's 2 of them here in Oslo, and there's one in Gambia, which I know a bit. So I'll just use this as an example. It's a bit hard for me to speak directly into another context. The situation looks different in Tamil Nadu than in Oslo and in Malawi. So this will be an experience from Oslo perspective, and hopefully you can translate some of it and bring some of it back. Okay, you hear me there? Okay. So Namaraj, do you have the... Okay. Okay, did you all hear my introduction, or did you just turn on the sound?
Hello?
Hello, brother.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you able to see your presentation?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, you can start. Thank you.
Okay. Did you hear my introduction or did you not?
Yes, yes, visible, hearing.
Okay, great. Perfect. Yes. I'll just use three examples from recent farms as an example of how to sustain and take care of already existing infrastructure and how they are used in different works. Um, this first page of the presentation you have there, this is a farm used at this hospital. I believe you have some of the similar challenges facing young people, youth and young adults, traumatized. It can be kind of eating disorders, anxiety, all different challenges, which it's a big burden on our society, but it's also a real problem for the individual and their families. And what we have seen here in Oslo and here in Norway, there needs to be a different learning environment for many of these people. It's a small group, but it's a growing group in Norway, struggling to adapt to the ordinary school system. So it's been a area where it's really been possible to make a change, and also a development area to make different learning arenas. And I remember from my visit at your university, you know a lot about how to make things practical and use the natural environment inside the campus for entrepreneurship activities and recycling, a lot of these areas. So I'm just bringing some examples from this here as well. We use a farm just a few kilometers outside the city center, where we have an area used for the hospitals, meaning that the hospital here, they are using the local farms for all kind of different activities. The difference from using the infrastructure inside the more clinical hospital or building is that you have a more peaceful surroundings. There is more, you can make a better structure. You have the possibility to make practical works and activities, and you have the farming area and the animals. And we see that so many of these young people struggling with social issues, there needs to be a different arena for them to develop. We see that even in the university also, there's a lot of stress elements. There's a lot of problems just working with other people this time around. So there needs to be a different arena. And this has also turned into a possibility for the farmers in like a place like this. Because they are targeting a problem in the society, like these groups. And many of these youth, they see that if they can bring them to the therapist, if they can bring them to such a learning arena, they see a much better progress in healing for their different challenges. So they have developed, you can take the next slide, Nonaraj. Oh, okay. It's turned into the. If you take the last picture, I can try to find it on my computer. Okay. Yes, they have turned this farm into a place used for the psychiatric youth and children. And they see that when you have connection with all kinds of living creatures like horses, they have some chickens, they have some dogs, different animals. They see there is a reduction in their anxiety and stress level. So even inside the schools today, sometimes they can bring some of the natural environment into the school area. So they have seen that even at this quite stressed learners and youth, it's possible to make connection with the animals, which they don't really do with the therapists or the teachers. There's also better possibility to make a good cooperation with other people. They learn to adapt and develop themselves in a group, which they have been struggling with in the past. And they develop a lot by doing practical activities using their physical abilities, which are all kind of activities at the farm, which I will share a bit about later. So this farm has been one of the key places where we see development for struggling learners and youth at the hospital. And of course, all of them are involved in, they have proper therapy, family therapists are inside the project, and even the learners themselves, they have individual therapy, but they see that the practical arena, not only the use of the mind, but also the use of the body and connection to the natural environment is healing. That means that there's a lot of healing itself in the natural environment which they use. So they see that if they can combine this area with more traditional way of doing therapy, they see a great progress. So this farm has used this this knowledge and this arena for innovation. They are now having a contract with this hospital and other places, and they are using this arena not only for the learners, but also other older struggling people, like old age people struggling with mental challenges. So it's just an example that such a farm can be used for this kind of group. Now, Naraj, can you take the next picture? Yes, I will just share a bit about two other farms. Of course, this farm has been developed for many years. When you see such a picture, sometimes one can be discouraged because it's been a development for many years. But when they started this program, this farm was almost out of use for anyone. So there's been a lot of effort to put it into place, and there's been a lot of private investment from even big foundations in Norway wanting to contribute to social works. And of course, the government also has been contributing. This started as a vision to assist young people and children in the school system also, which was having a challenge in this capital. And they had the idea that if you can make one practical day at the farm, then you have the possibility to make these 4 other days at the school much better. Meaning you don't take the kids out of the ordinary school, but each of the children and youth participating here, they have 1 day a week at the farm. Here they participate in all kind of practical activities, food making, they have carving, food and wood making, connection with animals here also, horses, goats, hens, and they have a group working with agriculture, farming, digging the soil, planting trees at this area. There's also a small group making video filming. So when we started this back in 2005, we had an idea that bringing them to such a place for 1 day, we can make a difference on the 4 other days at the school. I guess you know from your studies and your past school background that most of the school activities are inside the school building. And a lot of it is in the books and served by a teacher, by the board. But there's a growing concern about this way of dealing with education. And there's a good progress in the way that you now look at learning. And from this program, we see that it's not a problem to make a proper curriculum in practical life. Meaning, if you have a theoretical, mandatory curriculum, as we have, of course, also here in the school system, it's not a problem to make it practical. Meaning, we have all the tools we need at a place like this to make learning practical. all kind of subjects. It's possible to practicize them, which is a totally different way of learning for the children. Some are, of course, bored after a few minutes of listening to a teacher or professor. I remember from my studies as well, they said that after 20 minutes, most of us, we struggle to follow the speaker. So here also we have seen a great achievement from this program, that when you bring learners to practical learning arena and doing it that proper way, meaning that you make all the topics in the curriculum, aiming it to make it practical, it's fully possible to make a school out of a farm. This was also a private couple. They had this idea that this could be a practical learning arena for the children. And now we have seen that most of the, like almost 30 schools in Oslo are using this farm as part of their learning. And this is also contributing so well to the understanding of caring for the environment. So many learners here, they don't have even a green field outside their building, meaning where they stay. Meaning they don't have much connection to the natural environment. They don't know much about taking care of the plants, about animals, about our foundation for life. So bringing them to such a place regularly, not only on the visit, but on a regular basis, they get a lot of more skills. So I believe, especially in the city centers, these kind of programs will benefit well, where they have find some other areas and the places to take them, where you can have a proper school and proper education, but in a practical approach. And of course, it's also adapted because this group of learners coming here, it's could have been for all kind of learners, but we had to differentiate. There was about 30 of the schools which can participate. I will take the last, Nanaraj, I will speed up. You can take it to the next slide where it says Africa Startup. The previous picture. Yes, this one. Let me see. Yep. Okay. This last example, I will have to speed up a bit, was from my work at Leap Learning and Africa Startup. This farm was made from scratch in Banjul, Gambia, starting about 15 years ago. And this was just built straight from the soil. So all of this infrastructure there has been constructed year over year. And you can take the next photo, Nanaraj, or the next page. Yeah, so they have also had the same aim as we have had at some of these farms here, that the farms can be used for learning purposes and at the same time as an entrepreneurship training arena, and also a place where they develop new technologies and in small scale. So besides a lot of activities around learning, there's also schools coming to the farm, and there's also a lot of learning inside the farm. Of course, they have developed a lot small systems which is adaptable to the local communities in Gambia, meaning solar ovens, parabolic solar cookers, biogas, solar dryers. Of course, solar panels has been used a lot of places. So they have actual learning arena where they get to take part in the knowledge of how these things are working, and also learn to use it and bring it to their own communities. And this all these technical equipments are easier to adapt than big systems. So just a short ending on this, that we are still working on exchange program with this farm in Gambia, as I know some of you have heard of. So we are still in the process there, and hopefully we'll manage to have an exchange where we can send some of the students or some volunteers to this farm in Gambia that can be brought back to you in India. So this was just a few practical examples that local farms has a lot of possibilities, and they have they are making income out of this. It's just some of these examples that these farms have a lot of opportunities, both in the villages and also in cities and the bigger areas. So thanks for your attention. Hope it will be a beneficial day for all of you. And thanks for your partnership yet again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your fantastic felicitation address.
Now I would like to introduce a well-experienced person with a great concern towards environment, a eco-friendly practitioner, has more than 4 decades of experience in building a green world. He worked with the eco-farming expert, fondly remembers as Yerkai Velan Vinyani, Mr. Nammalvar. Mr. Gregory sir is a founder and director of Voice Test. Sir has trained more than thousands of social work professionals, and we are proud to be welcome you, sir, for the first session of International Symposium on Green Social Work. And sir will be handling a session on Let's Work Together and Rise Together. The session is over to you, sir.
அனைவருக்கும் பசுமை வணக்கம். Green greetings to all of you. We have been addressing பசுமை வணக்கம் for the past 24 years because the first students environment group was started in Trichy in the presence of the then Director of Environment, Dr. K. Shekhar. Nam Puvi, Nam Edirgalam, our earth, our future. That was the slogan with which we started. And we have been addressing the students always with Pasumai Vanakkam, green greetings. Presently, there are 24,360 students in Trichy district in 609 schools, 250 national green corps and 359 eco clubs. And it is a great challenge because through children we go to the parents, to the families, and from the families to the villages. We always use many environmental slogans to attract the students. Today's symposium is the coming together of individuals and organizations to work together for developing together. Periyar Maniammai University is a forerunner in many fields. I have been, as a school student, watching Thandai Periyar talking about equality, women's rights, and social concerns. And it's not easy to be his follower in Kumbakonam, which is the temple town with lot of Hindus, especially Brahmins, leading the town atmosphere. But he inspired us to see the human person as valuable, whether he belongs to this or that community. He brought equality. And it's a great pleasure to be part of this symposium in Periyar Maniam University. Also with jobs for development, because poverty is a result of lack of jobs, lack of incomes. If there are jobs, there will be income. If there's income, the needs are fulfilled. So jobs for development and Adakalam Charitable Trust is also inspiring a lot of young people to come up in life. And Go Green collaborators from Malawi and Dr. Gerald Anand, the social worker par excellence in the past, in the present, and walking environmentalist, talking environmentalist, living environmentalist, Dr. Elton. My topic is work together, rise together. And as social workers, we have to see the past. Social work organization was those days called a charity, then voluntary organization, now NGO or non-profit. By whatever name we call ourselves, social action is the main focus with which we have to work together for developing everyone's life. In 1975, Father Stan, you might have come to know about him because he died in July 2021 as a prisoner. He did not do anything wrong. He was working for the tribal people. Now the truth is slowly coming out. His computer has been hacked. Lot of indiscriminate materials have been uploaded, and he was falsely implicated in a case. The truth is slowly coming out. And he gave us a societal analysis class, and he told 10% of Indian population have 90% of riches of India in 1975. After the budget in 2020, Economic Times said 1% of Indian population have 58% of riches of India. In 2021, the former Finance Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram said, no, it's wrong. 1% of Indian population is now nearing 2/3 of the riches of India. The debate is on. Like below poverty line debate. Those days, Dr. Elton knows about it. 1,200 kilocalories, if a person is able to earn a day for keeping his body strong, he is not a poor person. Then they said 240 rupees per day wages in the rural areas and 320 rupees in the urban areas. Now they calculate 1000 rupees per month income, totally 12,000 rupees per year. That person is above poverty line. Can we agree? Can a person now manage with 1000 rupees to meet basic needs in life? That's what the government is now saying. Now I think the debate is on about 8 lakhs per annum. All those things are now happening. Okay. Joined in 1977 with Nammalwar, who was living near Medical College in Tanjavur. I was doing social work in Kumbakonam with Kudumbam organization, Mr. Oswald. Those days, we will not have food for 3-4 days. One good meal. This will be something for you unimaginable. But that was the reality those days. Nammalwar is a good singer, as you know. So when he sang this song, I think we all realized how hunger was the main issue that time. கங்கை பாயும் நாட்டிலே காளி பானை வீட்டிலே காவிரி பாயும் நாட்டிலே சோறு இல்லை தட்டிலே. So, as a social worker, we realized now this hunger issue has to be tackled. In what way? So we made the people to sit around and analyze the root cause of the problems affecting their life. Usually we address like this in the classrooms. But Nammalwar said, let the people sit in a round. Let everyone speak. And we realized there are a lot of activities in the village, but no wages. Then we discussed with the government, and Dr. Elton knows about this public law 480, Indo-US agreement, and we thought that we will go for food for work. We will do some jobs in the village, like road laying, deepening the wells, deepening the lakes, or taking up any social activity for a day's wages for man and woman, same wages. Food, sometimes rice, mostly wheat, then nutrition powder, oil. Then we also thought that we should think about other activities. What are our needs? And those days, the caste was a big problem, as you know. Even now, I think caste is still a problem. So Nammalwar sang this song. Manushangada, Nanga Manushangada, Onna Pola, Avana Pola, Yettu Sane, Vosaramulla, Manushangada, Nanga Manushangada. உங்க தலைவன் பிறந்த நாளில் போஸ்டர் ஒட்டவும் உங்க ஊர்வலத்தில் தர்ம அடியை வாங்கி கட்டவும். So, equality. Then about women's role. பொறுமை பொறுமை ஒன்றே, பெண்களுக்கு பெருமை என்றே. பொறுமை பொறுமை ஒன்றே, பெண்களுக்கு பெருமை என்றே. பேசுகின்ற பெரிய மனுஷன் மூஞ்சில் எல்லாம் காரி துப்பு. தயக்கம் வேண்டாண்டி பெண்ணே, கலக்கம் வேண்டாண்டி. So making women's role accepted in the community. Then about governance. சர்க்காரு எல்லாருக்கும் பொதுவானதுன்னு சில சண்டாளம் பேசுறாங்க மேடை மேல நின்னு. காக்கி சட்ட போலீஸ பாத்தியா நீ அண்ணே, அவன் கையடிக்கும் சல்யூட் எல்லாம் பணக்காரன் முன்னே. I don't know whether this is still happening, but those days it was happening. ஏழை வாழ்வு என்னான்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்காமலே திட்டம் போட்டு என்ன புண்ணியம். See about the government bringing up lot of projects without realizing whether they will be useful for the people, for the target groups. We should remember that Thandai Periyar opened up Pagattarivu Padai. He made us to get enlightened about the respect of human person. Whether he belongs to this community or that community, we are all human persons, valuable human persons. And Perandalavar Kamaraj opened up the schools, education. Because of that, there is great development now, especially in the state of Tamil Nadu. So from 1995, we are in eco-farming for poison-free food. கடைசி மரமும் வெட்டுண்டு, கடைசி காயும் முடிவுற, கடைசி ஆறும் விஷமாகி, கடைசி மீனும் பிடிபட, கடைசி நிலமும் பிளாட்டாகி, கடைசி நெல்மணியும் மிதிபட, அப்போதுதான் உரைக்கும் பணத்தை மட்டும் வைத்து சாப்பிட முடியாது. We said we will stick on to agriculture, especially like our Vice Chancellor was talking about eco-friendly life. So we said we will go for ecological agriculture. நஞ்சில்லா உழவே நலமான வாழ்வு. So we have stopped using chemical fertilizers now, chemical pesticides. We are having in our own farm in Siriganur with organic certification from government. We are using only vermicompost, organic manures. We are having thermal pest repellents. We are growing azolla, and we are also getting into value added products. I think that's where this topic of environmental entrepreneurship will have relevance. From 1998, as we said, we are in school environment program. From 1999, we started 2 months residential course, not in big buildings like this, but in the farm fields in Siriganur for 2 months. And Mr. Amalwar was our resource person. And the main topic was integrated farming system approaches for sustainable livelihood. 105 persons from all over Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry got trained, and IVI, இயற்கை வேளாண் இணையம், was formed on 2nd February 2000 in the presence of Mr. Amalwar. Presently, there are 150 இயற்கை வேளாண் இணையம் groups in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. From 2000, Tamil Nadu agroforestry programs, and from 2010, Tamil Nadu Biodiversity Conservation and Greening Project with Forest Department. Very interesting thing is, government was ready with the 3 lakhs saplings freely to be given to farmers, but no farmer wanted that. So the forest department invited us. What is the problem? We are ready to give it freely. With 5 rupees for planting, another 5 rupees for number of seedlings alive, and 5 more rupees in the 5th year, and in the 7th year 5 more rupees with cutting order. Then we said, sir, you have to now inform our people the need for agroforestry. We said, we will sing a song which our former Chief Minister MGR sang in the film Versailles. என்ன வளம் இல்லை இந்த திருநாட்டில், என் கையை ஏந்த வேண்டும் வெளிநாட்டில், ஒழுங்காய் பாடுபடு வயக்காட்டில், உயரும் உன் மதிப்பு அயல் நாட்டில். So he mentioned வயக்காட்டில். Whenever we go to a village, அப்பா எங்க, where is your father? He has gone to Vayakad. But he could say field, but he is telling field forest, because field was like a forest. There will be main crop, there will be intercrops, there will be on the fence different species of trees, creepers. The idea is the insects from one plant or one crop will control the insects in the other crops. Pest predator balance. That was the idea of agroforestry. Then when we explained this, so far 1,96,000 seedlings have been accepted by farmers out of 3 lakhs. We are still trying. Next is biodiversity agri trainings for youth. We went to World Bank as one of the 100 selected groups for climate adaptation conference in 2009. It was a disappointment for us because we gave multi-cropping experiment of 420 women farmers. It was accepted as one of the proposal. But when we went there, the Vice President of World Bank, an Indian, called me separately and told us, see, now the Philippines people are coming and giving, we are working in the whole country. And African people are coming and saying they are working in the whole country. But you are saying that you are working 42 villages. But we said, what we are doing only we can give you. Then we realized World Bank is very big. So they will not accept this. But anyhow, one friend said, there is an organization which is ready to support agriculture trainings for youth, global giving. So from there, we are still continuing. We started with 1,500 youth every year. It was too much for us. So now we have only up to 300. Next is Sunday. Next is guide scheme for the differently abled persons, and block disability mitigation and rehabilitation facilitating agency under Tamil Nadu State Rural Livelihood Mission. From 2020, we started a small experiment called Sunday Agriculture School, because children were not able to go to school because of COVID lockdown. We thought somewhere we should make a start. Why our youth are going for jobs to Chennai, to Coimbatore, to cities, Mumbai or Middle East, when there are jobs in the village itself? But many people did not like agriculture. They thought agriculture is the last and also not to be liked. But we said we will encourage children to relearn agriculture. They are living in the village. Their parents are in the fields, but they are not going to the fields. So we took 10 classes, 10 Sundays from morning to afternoon. we gave them the inputs about agriculture. We are happy to say out of 35 children in Siriganur, 23 children have now started home gardening. And one boy has proudly said he has made 800 rupees by selling a banana fruit in the market. In 2021, empowering women's agri-business, this word will not be liked by Namalwar, who is in heaven now, but the project name was this, title is this, but we said we will stick on to environmental, eco-friendly entrepreneurship. So they made tomato jam because they could not sell tomatoes during the COVID lockdown. And tomato jam, then we could, with the milk vendor, we could bring it to the Trichy town. And this news in social media was accepted by Benevity, Apple, Google, and Visa. Dr. Elton, I can tell Dr. Elton, when the day on the, I think it was June 3rd, 2020-21, message came from State Bank of India, New Delhi, that Voices got 72 lakhs of rupees in their account. I was telling Mr. Godwin, who is looking after accounts, sorry, I think they have sent the message wrongly, because normally Voices doesn't get this much of big amount, except in during tsunami time. So for somebody else, this money might have come. Then after 5 days, Benevity informs, this money is for you because your women started tomato jam during COVID lockdown, and please continue such kind of women's agriculture enterprises. So we shared this amount with 42 groups in Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. The rest of it we managed in Manaparai and Siriganur areas. In 2022, clean air, water, environment programs under Swachh Bharat, Tuime India Yakam. We have some brochures. I think Dr. Nandaraj can allow us, not now, maybe at the end of the conference. So from 2023, the multi-focus rural camp by Department of Social Work, Periyar Maniamma Institute of Science and Technology, is still the important activity during this year. In January, for 10 days, 6 days, they came and they inspired us, and some of them are here. I think they enjoyed the rural setting, and also they worked with our target people. Next. Next. So we said we will work together to develop together. In 1980, there was an opportunity for us to go to Israel. There we saw kibbutz. 300 people living together in the same locality, doing what they are capable of, what they are talented with. Some of them were doing agriculture, some of them were doing tailoring, some of them were teaching, some of them were cooking, and they were sharing whatever resources they could. It is still utopian for a Indian context, because there is a lot of selfishness among us, but we have to make a beginning somewhere. We have to live together, develop together. We always call Dr. Elton as green walking, green talking, green living, jobs for development, and Malawi Agri Mark, Malawi Necos, and Adakalam Charitable Trust. So we will work together and we will also try to solve our own problems by coming together. Once again, green greetings. Pasumai Vanakkam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session.
Dr. A. Relton, Associate Professor and former Head, Department of Social Work, is known for being a man of action. He has put in an enviable 36 years of noble service to a social work profession, enabling many a budding social worker to evolve into a multitasking, passionate team player, a holistic professional social worker. He is also driven by a passion for ensuring our planet is able to remain home for us and our abundance of wildlife. He is an ardent researcher, having done very many exploratory researches in field of social work and wildlife. His empirical observations have been much sought after both by the academicians and practitioners alike for its novel nuanced observations and evident practical implications for intervention. Another exceptional characteristics of Dr. A. Relton in his administrative acumen, which had enabled him to hold positions of evening college coordinator, vice principal of Bishop Heber College, honorary wildlife warden, forest department Tamil Nadu, flying officer NCC Air Wing for a decade, and the director of Asabel Institute of Environmental Studies, Bishop Heber College, for almost 2 decades at a stretch, to name a few. Of all his stellar credentials, what remains close to his heart, however, in his uncanny ability to respond quickly and effectively to reach out the people during a crisis, be it tsunami, Gaja cyclone, or the pandemic COVID-19. Boundaries of the district states not being a limiting criterion, mobilized support, manpower, material, monetary, all being ensured in this process. He is currently heading a task force to fight against COVID-19 and is reaching out to be many fellow brethren of us in crisis. He is currently the controller of examinations of Bishop Heber College. In short, Dr. Elton is a multi-faced persona with ingrained in social consciousness and a commitment to protect the environment and its resources. We welcome you, sir, for the session on green social work challenges ahead. Before starting the session, I call upon our head department social work to honor the guest. Thank you, sir. The session is over to you.
Good afternoon, respected head of the department, my colleagues, student friends, and Grigori sir, and my colleague from Bishop Heber College. It's a happy occasion to be here. I have a very long association with this institution. Uh, it's like homecoming. I'm coming after many years, but I know this campus very well. I have done a lot of bird watching in this campus because it is a very beautiful campus, very environmentally friendly campus. I always used to talk to my colleagues in Bishop Heber. People always call Bishop Heber as Beauty Bishop. I always used to tell them, please visit this particular campus so that we will get a lot of inspiration about the environment in the campus. So I have been given a pleasant task of talking to you about green social work challenges ahead. So I'll be very brief. I have prepared a PowerPoint, but I will share the PowerPoint with you. I will ask Jerry to give you a copy of the PowerPoint so that you don't have to worry about writing down anything, right? So life itself is a challenge. அப்படிதானே வாழ்க்கையே போராட்டம் தான், right? இன்னைக்கு மதியானம் கூட்டிகிட்டு வந்து 2 மணிலேருந்து 6 மணி வரைக்கும் உட்கார வச்சு என்ன சார் மாதிரி என்ன மாதிரி வயசான ஆட்கள் எல்லாம் கூட்டிகிட்டு வந்து பேச வச்சு உங்களை கவனிக்க சொல்கிறதே ஒரு போராட்டமாகி போச்சு. அது மட்டும் இல்லை, we are facing problems every time, every day and day in and day out. Especially for social workers, nowadays the challenges are more. When we were youngsters like you people, நான் கிரிகோரி சார்லாம் நான் சாரோட சேர்ந்துக்கலாம், ரைட்? சாருக்கு எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் தான் ஏஜ் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ். அதனால் நாங்களாம் ஒர்க் பண்ண டைமில் when we started as social workers, main problems, main challenge we faced was economic issues. There was inequality everywhere. There was so much of inequality. People were really poor. இப்போல்லாம் நீங்கள் பார்க்குறதெல்லாம் பாவர்ட்டிலாம் இல்லை, அப்படி தானே சார்? இப்போல்லாம் வந்து எந்த ரிமோட் வில்லேஜுக்கு போனீங்கனாலும் யூ டோன்ட் see ரியல் பாவர்ட்டி. இதே இது ஒரு 30 years 40 yearsக்கு முன்னாடி நான் சோஷியல் ஒர்க் படித்தப்பெல்லாம் when we went for a rural camp, சாருடைய சிறுகுன்னு ஒரு பக்கம்லாம் நீங்கள் போய் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா there was real poverty. அப்போல்லாம் இருந்த challenges are different. Then things become, slowly changed. Socio-economic conditions. Of course, I would definitely say there is inequality even today, but the real poverty has been gone, but different types of problems came in. Right? Gender inequality vanduchu, other issues came in. And recently, now everybody talks about environment. So do we, the social workers are also now talking about environment. Even we call green social work. இதெல்லாம் புது சப்ளைஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கும். பிகாஸ் எவ்ரிபடி டாக்ஸ் அபவுட் என்வாயர்மெண்ட். பிகாஸ் மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் த ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் வி ஃபேஸ் நவடேஸ் இஸ் டைரக்ட்லி ஆர் இன்டைரக்ட்லி கனெக்டட் டு என்வாயர்மெண்ட். சரிங்களா? ஐ வில் கிவ் யூ a simple example. Now there is a problem of water sharing between countries, between states. தமிழ்நாடு எடுத்துக்கோமே, we have problem of water sharing between Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. சண்டை தகராறு, பஸ்ஸுக்கு அடிக்கிறாங்க, நம்ம போனால் அங்கே அடிக்கிறாங்க, அவங்க வந்தால் அவங்கள அடிக்கிறோம், எல்லா ப்ராப்ளமும் வருது. இட் appears to be a political problem between two states. சரிங்களா? வெளியரங்கமாக if you look into it, it appears to be a political issue. But if you go deeper and see, இதே காவேரி ஆறு அந்த காலத்துலேருந்தே கொடுகுல தானே உற்பத்தி ஆச்சு. இப்போ இடம் மாறிச்சா? இல்லை இல்லை, அங்கே கர்நாடகாவில் தான் வந்துச்சு. ஆனால் இவ்வளோ நாள் ஏன் சண்டை வரல? எனி கெஸ்? ஏன் இவ்வளோ நாளாக சண்டை வரல? இப்போ 10 வருஷமாக தான் சண்டை வருது. எது பற்றாக்குறை? இல்லை, எந்த பற்றாக்குறையை வச்சு சண்டை போட்டுக்கிறோம் நம்மளும் கர்நாடகாவும்? கரெக்டாக தான் சொன்னீங்க, நீர். ஓகே, ஸோ தெர் இஸ் வாட்டர் ஸ்கார்சிட்டி. ஏன் தண்ணீர் பற்றாக்குறை? வாதியாரில் நான் கேள்வி கேட்டு தான் ஆகணும். சார் வந்து அவர் பொதுவான சார், அதனால் கேள்வி கேட்க மாட்டார். நான் வாதியாராக இருந்து 40 வருஷம் இருந்துட்டேன். அதனால் உங்களை கேள்வி கேட்காட்டி எங்களுக்கு தூக்கம் வராது. என்ன சரி? சரிம்மா, கரெக்ட், நல்ல ஆன்சர் சொன்னீங்க. நீர் பற்றாக்குறை ஏன் இப்போ திடீர்னு 10 வருஷமாக மட்டும் நீர் பற்றாக்குறை? நிறைய பேர் தண்ணியை குடிச்சிடுறாங்களா, காவிரி தண்ணியை? எஸ், ரைட். கிளைமேட், மழை குறைஞ்சிருச்சு, ரைட்? மழை குறைஞ்சிச்சு, ஸோ காவிரியில் தண்ணி வர்றது குறைஞ்சிருச்சு. ஸோ டேம் ஃபுல் ஆகலை. கர்நாடகாவில் இருக்கிற டேம்லாம் ஃபுல் ஆகலை. கர்நாடகாவில் டேம் ஃபுல்லாக இல்லாதப்ப ஹவு டு யூ எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் தம் டு ஓப்பன் த கேட்ஸ் அண்ட் ரிலீஸ் வாட்டர் ஃபார் தமிழ்நாடு? ஸோ தி ப்ராப்ளம் இஸ் நாட் பொலிட்டிக்கல், இட் இஸ் என்வாயர்மெண்ட். மழை குறைவு. ஏன் மழை குறைஞ்சிச்சு? டிஃபாரஸ்டேஷன். யூ ரைட். நம்ம மேற்கு தொடர்ச்சி மலையில் இருக்கிற மலையெல்லாம் நம்ம அந்த மரங்கள் எல்லாம் வெட்டிட்டோம். என்க்ரோச்மெண்ட், டெவலப்மெண்ட், அர்பனைசேஷன், right? Modernization, everything contribute towards environmental issues. So now most of the issues we face nowadays are basically environmental issues. We are coming across lot of new illnesses. இந்த இப்போ இருக்க கோவிடுக்கும் என்வாயன்மெண்ட்டுக்கும் தான் ரிலேட் பண்ண முடியல அவங்களால, ரைட்? தெர் இஸ் நோபடி ஹஸ் ஃபவுண்ட் அவுட் ஒய் அண்ட் ஹவு வி காட் கோவிட். லாட் ஆஃப் ரூமர்ஸ் ஆர் தேர். வேணுங்கன்னு செஞ்சாங்க, லேப்ல இருந்துச்சு, தப்பிச்சு வந்துருச்சு, அப்படியே என்னென்னமோ சொல்கிறாங்க. பட் நோபடி ஹஸ் ஃபவுண்ட் அவுட் எ ரியல் காஸ் ஃபார் அ ப்ராப்ளம். பட் வேர் அஸ் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி அதர் இஷ்யூஸ் ஆர் வெரி மச் ரிலேட்டட் டு என்வாயன்மெண்ட். So environmental health problems are more, right? So majority of the problems we as social workers face in the community is basically related directly or indirectly to environment, right? So the challenge of social workers are becoming increasingly more. So now we have to mitigate those issues. That's what I am going to challenges we have, how we are going to help people to solve the environmental crisis, right? So before going into the details, we should know two things. Environmental justice is a very important term you should know. So there is inequality in environmental sharing also. There is injustice. There is injustice. மற்றதெல்லாம் சொல்றோம்ல, அதே மாதிரி environmental issues we have environmental justice that you should understand. Sustainability is that we as environmentalists or social workers, we don't tell people not to use பண்ணாதீங்கன்னு நம்ம சொல்றதே கிடையாது, சொல்லக்கூடாது, right? The nature produce everything for the usage of human and animal kind. You must have studied about food cycle, food web. ஞாபகம் இருக்கா? சரியா? பேசிக்காக ஒரு ஆர்கனைசேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கும், அதுக்கு மேலே ஒன்று இருக்கும், மேலே ஒன்று இருக்கும், மேலே ஒன்று இருக்கும், ஒன்றுக்கொண்டு எல்லாமே தொடர்புடையது. They are all interlinked. They are all interlinked. So அதனால் everything has to be used by somebody else. But we talk about in sustainability, we talk about use, not abuse. Right? ஒரு பாட்டில் காஃப் சிரப்பை குடிச்சிங்கன்னா ஒரு நாளைக்கு அது யூஸ். 10 பாட்டில் காஃப் சிரப்பை வாங்கி அடிச்சிங்கன்னா அது அடிக்கிறது, ரைட்? அப்யூஸ். Like that, sustainability also talks about using the resources. வைஸ் சான்சலர் சார் கூட சொன்னார், ஃபேனை போடுங்க, உட்காந்துருக்கிற வரைக்கும் காற்று வாங்குங்க. When you go out of the room, sit you switch on the lights and fans. So we are wasting a resource. So that's why the sustainability is a term which talks about using the resource. At the same time, you conserve the resource for the future generation. So these two terms you should always know that before talking about environmental issues. Sustainable, we use this word in many times. We are living in a country. Next slide. So very briefly, I am going to talk about our country and its biodiversity. We are living in a very important biologically rich country, right? India has largest. பக்கத்தில் போயிட்டோம் நம்ம. Some people even say that now we are number 1. China கூட இல்லை, நம்ம நம்பர் 1க்கு ஏற்கனவே போயிட்டோம்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. So in population, we are number 1. So we have a very large human population. We have a very huge human resource. Young generation, highest number இருக்குது நம்ம கண்ட்ரிலாம். That itself is a resource, right? So India is good in many things, right? Our culture. Next slide please. Next slide please. Our culture, our architecture, right? Everything is rich. We have a very big history. 3000-4000 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்க ஹிஸ்டரி நம்ம ஊர்ல ட்ரேஸ் பண்ண முடியும். But think about Americans, the Americans, இப்போ சொல்றவங்க nobody is an American. So the native Americans are gone, or they are living in small packets. Only the people who moved from Europe are there. Think about Australia, the tribals, the native people are gone. Only people who have traveled from Europe are there. But we have a very rich history. Okay, so next slide. It's a very rich place in many things. It's a very rich place in many things. One of the important aspects which I am going to say is about environment. It's about environmental issues. So India is the 7th mega biodiversity country. Have you heard about the word mega biodiversity country? Right. Social work like usual are the number pandradala. That's why now your department has taken up introducing a topic called green social work, that we should know about the environment, our Indian environment. எல்லாத்துக்கும் ரேங்க், உங்களுக்கு ரேங்க் இருக்கு, நீங்கள்லாம் சேர்ந்து எனக்கு ரேங்க் போடுறீங்க, கவர்மெண்ட் சேர்ந்து காலேஜுக்கு ரேங்க் போடுது. Now ranking is very common everywhere. Like that, the world has been ranked based on the number of species available in each country. Right? In spite of our huge population, in spite of all the environmental issues we have, India even today stands as a 7th mega biodiversity country. நம்ம ஊர்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய விலங்குகளும் பறவைகளும் உயிரினங்களும் அவ்வளோ இருக்கிறதுனால தான் நம்ம இன்னும் வந்து 7th ரேங்க்ல இருக்கோம். 7th ரேங்க்ல இருக்கோம், which is a very very important aspect we should understand. Not only that, species richness, we use the term called species richness. So India has very rich species diversity. சரிங்களா? அடுத்த term, this is an example for species diversity. நம்ம ஊர்ல இல்லாத பறவைகள், விலங்குகள், ஊர்வன, நடப்பன, நீந்துவன, everything is we have rich. I have a table also, you can see the table later on. So we have species richness. Right? 350 species of mammals are found in this country. Mammals, யானையிலேருந்து சின்னதாக இருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த சுண்டலி வரைக்கும் 350 species இருக்கு. There is another column called endemic. Have you heard this word endemic? Endemic? Endemism? Endangered வேறப்பா. Endangeredனா அழியும் தருவாயில் இருக்கிறது endangered. For example, புலி is an endangered animal. ஏன்னா the whole of India ஒரு 50 வருஷம் 70 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி 30,000 புலி இருந்துச்சு. இப்போ 3,000 புலி இருக்கு, 3,500 புலி இருக்குங்கிறாங்க. So we call that as endangered. But endemism, you are fairly close. Endemism is a term which used, these animals are found nowhere else in the world. Only they are found in India. அதுதான் endemic. நிறைய பேர் ஊட்டி, கொடைக்கானல், ஹில் ஸ்டேஷன்ஸ் போயிருப்பீங்க. அதேமாரி ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸை திட்டுறப்ப குரங்கு அப்படின்னு ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக திட்டுவோம். அதுவும் என்ன மாதிரி கருப்பாக இருந்தால் கருங்குரங்கு அப்படின்னு ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக திட்டுவோம். That கருங்குரங்கு is found only in India, only in South India, only in Western Ghats. Nowhere else in the world. உலகத்தில் வேற எங்கேயும் கிடையாது. சரியா? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி there are endemic plants, mammals, birds, reptilesனா பாம்பு, பல்லி, அந்த மாதிரி. Amphibians அப்படின்னா தவளை, அதெல்லாம் தான் amphibians. We have fishes. We have insects, 50,000 species of insects and 45,000 species of plants. அதுக்கெல்லாம் அந்த endemic list இல்லை. அப்போ endemism இல்லையா நினைக்கிறீங்களா? இல்லை. We don't have a list. We don't have a list. Suppose you can walk around your campus, probably you can find a insect new to science. New to science. கொஞ்ச நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி நான் கூட இன்னும் அதை நான் தேடிட்டு இருக்கேன். There was a report by your counselor. உங்கள் காலேஜில் ஒரு கவுன்சிலர், ஒரு மேடம் இருக்காங்கல்ல, ரைட், ஒரு சோஷியல் ஒர்க் முடித்தவங்க, ரைட், லிலி புஷ்பா மேடம். ஷீ போஸ்டட் அ ஸ்மால் ஸ்பைடர் இன் ஃபேஸ்புக் சேயிங் தட் எங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு இது வந்துச்சு, வெரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங், இது மாதிரி நான் பார்த்ததில்ல, ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ போட்டாங்க. ரைட், அவங்க ஃபோட்டோ போட்டுட்டு தூங்கிட்டாங்க. ரைட், பிகாஸ் ஷீ சா த ஸ்பைடர் அண்ட் ஷீ இஸ் வெரி ஹாப்பி. ஆனால் அவங்க போட்ட ஒரு வருஷமாக நான் அந்த ஸ்பைடர் இந்த ஏரியாவில் தேடிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஐ குடன்ட் ஃபைண்ட் இட். Because it is rare, very very rare, reported before 500 years in record. அதுக்கப்புறம் எங்கேயுமே ரெக்கார்ட் ஆகலை. மேடம் மட்டும் எங்கேயோ பார்த்துட்டாங்க. ரைட், ஸோ நவ் ஐ ஆம் சர்ச்சிங், ஐ couldn't find that spider. குட்டி இவ்வளோண்டு ஸ்பைடர். ஓகே, எனக்கு ஒரு சந்தேகம் கூட வந்துருச்சு. ஒன் ஆஃப் மை கலீக் செட் தட் ஸ்டோரி, மேடம் மஸ்ட் ஹவ் brought, ஏன்னா அவங்க வீட்டு கேம்பஸில் பார்த்தாங்க. ஸோ there are some plants she brought it from Kerala. Right, so our suspicion now is probably the spider must have traveled from Kerala to the campus. இப்போ நான் முடிவு பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ ஐ எம் திங்கிங் ஆஃப் கோயிங் பேக் டு கேரளா. மேடம் எங்கெங்கே செடி வாங்கினாங்க, அவங்க சொந்த ஊர் எதுன்னு பார்த்து அங்கே போகலான்னு பிளான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ரைட், சம்திங் இஸ், யூ கேன் ஹிட் சம்திங் நியூ, யூ கேன் ஹிட் சம்திங் நியூ. ஸோ நம்ம ஊரில் இன்னும் படிக்கப்படாத, கண்டுபிடிக்கப்படாத விஷயங்கள் இன்னும் நிறையா இருக்கு. ரைட், ஸோ இட் இஸ் அ வெரி வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பிளேஸ் டு பி. Next slide, please. See these photographs. All these photographs, whatever I have taken it, or my wife or my son must have taken it. So not only species richness, we have ecosystem richness. Right? Ecosystem na வாழிடங்கள். இப்போ கடலுக்கு போகிறீங்க, கடல் கரை, கடல் அது ஒரு வாழிடம். இங்கேருந்து கொடைக்கானலுக்கு போகிறீங்க, மலையை பார்க்குறீங்க. அந்த காலத்தில் நமக்கு சொன்னாங்களே மருதம், முல்லை, நெய்தல், பாலை, அந்த மாதிரி வந்து அந்த காலத்தில் நம்ம ஒரு கிளாசிஃபிகேஷன் இருந்திருக்கு. ஸோ த கிளாசிஃபிகேஷன், we have all types of ecosystems. All types of ecosystems. We have a coast, we have a forest. So in the forest la pathina, not only if you go to US, you will see only one type of forest. You go to any European country, you will see only one type of forest. The maple leaf vachchu oru forest irukum. But if you travel in India, you will come across 18 different types of forest. Right? These photographs are taken in Western Ghats. நம்ம கொடைக்கானல், ஊட்டி, வால்பாறை அந்த பகுதியில் எடுத்தது. This is a evergreen forest. This is where river Kaveri, river Tamrabarani, Vaigai, any type of river originates in an evergreen forest. பசுமை மாறா காடுகள். Right? Next slide talks about high altitude grassland. இந்த மொட்டையாட் ஒன்றும் இல்லாத மாதிரி இருக்க இடம்லாம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, this is actually grassland. The grass வந்து நம்ம பார்த்த கிராஸ்லாம் இவ்வளோ பெருசாக இருக்கும். whereas this grass can grow up to 14-15 feet, and they store water and they release the water slowly, and you get perennial rivers like Tamrabarani or Vaigai or Kaveri or whatnot. Next type of forest which you have come across, or you must have familiar with this, deciduous forest, இலையுதிர் காடுகள். Right? This is where we get all our timbers. The popular tree in this forest is teak, rosewood, bamboo. Right? All those are very economically important tree varieties which get from deciduous forest. The other type of forest which you have around is thorn forest, முட்காடுகள். Right? Every plant you see in that forest will have a thorn. Right? So these are the very common 4 types of forest you have in Tamil Nadu. Right? But there are other 12 different types of forest available in rest of the country. So there is ecosystem richness. There is ecosystem richness. Coast. நமக்கு 3000 கிலோமீட்டர் உள்ள கோஸ்ட் இருக்கு நம்ம ஊர்ல. Next. Talking about animals. So I talked about ecosystem richness. I talked about species richness. This is another very important thing which you find only in very few countries in the world. ஒரே வெரைட்டியில் அத்தனை ஸ்பீசிஸ் இருக்கும். இதெல்லாம் என்ன ஃபேமிலி, என்ன இதுக்கெல்லாம் காமனாக என்ன நேம் வைக்கலாம்? Cats. Excellent. Cats. All those are cats. சிங்கம், புலி, சிறுத்தை, பனி சிறுத்தை, நடுப்புற இருக்கிறது மார்பிள் கேட். ரைட்? ஆல்தோ இது இல்லாமல் இன்னும் 6 டைப் இருக்கு. காட்டு பூனை, புனுகு பூனை அப்படின்னு ஐ கேன் கிவ் எ லிஸ்ட். தெர் ஆர் அரௌண்ட் 13 ஏன்னா இது வரைக்கும் தான் நான் ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்திருக்கேன், மற்றதெல்லாம் இன்னும் எடுக்கல. ரைட்? தெர் ஆர் 13 ஸ்பீசிஸ் ஆஃப் கேட்ஸ் இன் அவர் கண்ட்ரி. ரைட்? மீன் கொத்தி பறவை எல்லாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க. என்ன கலரில் இருக்கும்? ப்ளூ கலர். எக்ஸலண்ட். அப்போ பேர்ட் வாட்சர்ஸும் இந்த குரூப்பில் இருக்கீங்க. வெரி குட். ப்ளூ கலரில் இருக்குதா கிங்ஃபிஷர். ரைட்? உங்கள் கேம்பஸில் இல்லை டவுனுக்குள்ளே, உங்களுதுனால கொஞ்சம் காடு. ரைட்? நாங்கள் இருக்கிறது டவுன். ரைட்? டவுனுக்குள்ளே எங்கள் கேம்பஸில் தெர் ஆர் 3 டிஃப்ரெண்ட் டைப்ஸ் ஆஃப் கிங்ஃபிஷர்ஸ். டெஃபினட்டாக அந்த 3 உங்கள் கேம்பஸ்லேயும் இருக்கும். மிஞ்சி போனால் இன்னொன்று கூட இருக்கலாம். தெர் மே பி 4 ஸ்பீசிஸ் ஆஃப் கிங்ஃபிஷர்ஸ் இன் யுவர் கேம்பஸ். பட் இஃப் யூ கோ டு யூரோப், ஸ்பெயின்லேருந்து இங்கிலாந்து வரைக்கும் ஆர் மேலே அயர்லாந்து வரைக்கும் யூரோப். ரைட்? நார்வே, ஸ்வீடன், ஒரு துறை பேசினார்ல நார்வேலேருந்து, எல்லா துறைகளும் இருக்க இடத்துல there is only one species of kingfisher for the whole of Europe. Just you can compare உங்கள் கேம்பஸையும் யூரோப்பையும் கம்பேர் பண்ணுங்க. we are environmentally, biologically we are rich. Right? Okay. We saw so many things which is nice and beautiful. இன்னும் நிறையா படங்கள் நான் காட்டலாம், பட் lack of time is there. So everything was nice and beautiful. We are living in a very beautiful country. We are in the 7th rank and all that. But what is happening today? What is happening around? What we are doing to the environment? Fire. 2-3 காசு உண்டு ஃபயருக்கு. This is one of the major problem. Right? When sometimes there is a lightning, there will be natural fire. But in India, there is only 5% of the forest fire are natural. Other 95% of the forest fire is basically man-made. Man-made. ஏன்னா சம்மர் டைமில் கொளுத்தி விட்டுறணும். கொளுத்தி விட்டு எல்லாத்தையும் எரிய வச்சிட்டிங்கன்னா ஒன்று வந்து நீங்கள் அங்கே ஆக்குபை பண்ணிடலாம், அந்த இடத்த ஆக்குபை பண்ணிடலாம். அதர்வைஸ் ஆஃப்டர் த ரெயின்ஸ் யூ வில் கெட் fresh shoots, fresh grass where your animals will feed on them. So 95% of the forest is being purposely burnt. Next one, destruction of forest. Clear cut. We call that as clear cut. ஒன்றுமே விடுறது கிடையாது, சரிங்களா? கம்ப்ளீட்டாக அடித்து ஜேசிபியை போட்டு நிறவி பக்கா ஃபுட்பால் கிரவுண்டு மாதிரி, கிரிக்கெட் கிரவுண்ட் மாதிரி ஆக்கிட வேண்டியது. Right? You lose a forest. A study says every day a football court size of forest is being converted into a farmland or housing land every day in India. ஒவ்வொரு ஃபுட்பால் சைஸ் ஒவ்வொரு நாளைக்கு ஆக்குபை பண்ணுறோம். ரைட்? அப்போ யோசிச்சு பார்த்துக்கோங்க, how we are losing forest in a very fast scale. மரம் வெட்டுறது நமக்கு வந்து மரம் வைக்கிறதுக்குன்னு ஒரு குரூப் இருப்பாங்க, சார் மாதிரி. மரம் வெட்டுறதுக்குன்னு ஒரு குரூப் இருப்பாங்க, ரைட்? ஆர்கனைஸ்ட் ட்ரீ கட்டிங், ரைட்? ஆர்கனைஸ்ட் ட்ரீ கட்டிங். We cut trees. Of course we need furniture and all that, but people do it in a very, very greedy way that they cut very important trees. This photo appears to be nice, right? பார்க்கறதுக்கு இந்த ஃபோட்டோ நல்லா தான் இருக்குது. இதில் என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் நான் சொல்ல வர போகிறேன்னு தெரியுமா உங்களுக்கு? இதில் இருக்க பிளான்ட் என்னன்னு தெரியுமா? சொல்லுங்க. கீழே க்ரீனாக இருக்குது, போல்டஸ் டீ, ரைட்? டீ பார்க்க நல்லா இருக்குது, ஃபோட்டோ அருமையாக இருக்குது. ஆனால் see, this is monoculture. This is monoculture. Natural forest அழிச்சிட்டு அந்த இடத்துல they have introduced tea. நீங்கள் இங்கேருந்து 15 கிலோமீட்டர் வரைக்கும் பார்க்குற இடம் வரைக்கும் இருக்கிறதெல்லாம் டீ, டீ ட்ரீ. அது ஒரு ட்ரீ ஆக்சுவலாக, ரைட்? அதை கட் பண்ணி தான் இலையை நம்ம எடுக்கிறோம். இட்ஸ் அ ட்ரீ. மேலே இருக்கிறது வந்து சில்வர் ஓக்குன்னு ஒரு ட்ரீ. தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ நாட் இண்டியன் ட்ரீ. தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ எக்ஸோட்டிக். வேறு வெளிநாட்டில் இருக்க மரத்தை கொண்டாந்து இங்கே வச்சுட்டாங்க. இதெல்லாம் வெள்ளைக்காரங்க பண்ண வேலை, right? So the entire hill, entire forest is clear cut and new type of plants are introduced. The foreignலேருந்து plants இங்கே நடுறதுல நிறைய பிரச்சனைகள் வரும், right? You must have heard about eucalyptus, right? நம்ம ஊரில் இல்லாத பிளான்ட் அது வெள்ளைக்காரங்க வந்து இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் அதால் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், ரைட்? நிறைய ஐப்போமியான்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஆகாய தாமரை, வெங்காய தாமரை, அது மாதிரி ஒரு நேம் யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஐக்கோனியா, ஐப்போமியா, அந்த மாதிரி தண்ணியில் ஒரு மிதந்துட்டு வரும் ஒரு பிளான்ட், பர்பிள் கலரில் அழகாக பூலாம் பூக்கும். ஐக்கோர்னியா, ஆகாய தாமரை, தட் இஸ் அ வீட். when you go to forest there is another plant called நல்ல மஞ்சள் கலர் உன்னி செடி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. உன்னிப்பூ அழகாக இருக்கும் பூலாம், ஆனால் வந்து that is a weed from a foreign country. So like that, so the forest is gone and exotic plants survive. This is another open mine. இப்போ தான் டெரியன்ட்ட சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாப்புல, சார் ஒரு காலத்தில் இந்த இடம் வந்து ஓப்பன் மைன் சார் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. ஓப்பன் மைன்னா இது மாதிரி இடத்த குழியாக வெட்டி மண், இந்த இடத்துல நினைக்குமா செம்மண்ணுக்காக இந்த இடத்துல மைன்ஸ் எடுத்திருப்பாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். தங்கம் எடுக்கலன்னு நினைக்கிறேன், அப்படி தானே? தங்கம் இருந்திருந்தா நம்ம எல்லாம் இங்கே இருக்க மாட்டோம், எல்லாம் நோண்டிகிட்டு இருப்போம், ரைட்? ஸோ ஓப்பன் மைன்ஸ் ஆர் தேர். ஸோ வி ஆர் டிப்ளீட்டிங் த என்வாயன்மெண்ட் டு தி மேக்ஸிமம் லெவல் in the name of development. Development is important. So we as social workers are looking for or expecting people to improve in their social status, improve in their economic status. அதுக்கு தானே நம்ம வேலை பார்க்குறோம். மக்கள் அப்படியே இருக்கக்கூடாது, படிக்கணும், சம்பாதிக்கணும், நல்லா இருக்கணும், ரிச் ஆகணும், அதெல்லாம் நம்மளுடைய கோல் தான், தப்பு கிடையாது. ஆனால் you should always think about not depleting the environment. Sustainable. அதனால தான் அந்த வேர்டை நான் உங்களுக்கு இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணேன். யூ ஷுட் ஆல்வேஸ் திங்க் அபவுட் சஸ்டெயினபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட். ரைட்? நவ் வி கம் டு சோஷியல் ஒர்க், கிரீன் சோஷியல் ஒர்க். ரைட்? நமக்கு வந்து we have a major advantage in implementing green social work. பிகாஸ் மற்றவங்க எல்லாத்த விட சோஷியல் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் ஹாவ் த எபிலிட்டி டு இன்டராக்ட் வித் பீப்புள், ரைட்? நமக்கு வந்து என்ட்ரி ஃபேஸ் எல்லாம் டீச் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. ஒரு வில்லேஜுக்கு போனால் எப்படி பேசுறது, எப்படி அவங்களோட இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுறது, எப்படி வந்து அந்த லீடர்ஷிப்பை அங்கே கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது, எப்படி கம்யூனிட்டிஸ் பார்ட்டிசிபேஷனை என்ஹான்ஸ் பண்ணுறது, ஹவு டு பிரிங் த பீப்புள் டுகெதர். இதெல்லாம் வந்து நமக்கு ஏற்கனவே நம்மளுடைய ஸ்கில்லாக இருக்குது, நம்மளுடைய டூலாக இருக்குது. வி ஆர் எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸ் இன் தட். இப்போ சார் சொன்னாங்க 6 நாள் எங்களோட கேம்புக்கு வந்தாங்க, ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்துச்சு. They also enjoyed, we also used them. So we have the ability, already we have the ability to work with people, நமக்கு அந்த எபிலிட்டி இருக்கு. So now it is our responsibility to use this link between us and the people in environmental conservation. சரி, நான் 3-4 பாயிண்ட் 3-4 ஸ்லைட் வச்சிருக்கேன். பட் மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் தி slide or most of the points emphasize that we need to use the people to protect the environment. சரியா? So we have நமக்கு advantage is we are well known to the people. People have already accepted us as social workers. People knew that we are doing something for them. அந்த advantageலாம் நமக்கு இருக்கு. Make use of the advantage. Create awareness to the people. ஏன்னா வந்து இப்போ nowadays we don't talk about creating awareness because people are aware of all the issues. முன்னாடி மாதிரிலாம் கிடையாது. There is not much ignorance nowadays. அதை நீங்கள் ஒத்துக்குவீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். பழைய காலம் மாதிரி இக்னரண்ட்டாக மக்கள் வந்து தெரியாமல் இருக்கவங்க கொஞ்சம் பேர் இருக்காங்க. ஆனால் நிறைய பேர் வந்து இப்போ தெரியுது அவங்களுக்கு, நம்ம இதை செய்யக்கூடாது, என்வாயர்மெண்ட்டை ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணணும், பிளாஸ்டிக்கை யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது, மரத்தை வளர்க்கணும், மரத்தை வெட்டணும், இதெல்லாம் தெரியாமல் இருக்குங்கிறீங்களா? எல்லாம் அவங்களுக்கு தெரியுது. ஒன்லி திங் இஸ் ஃபார் வேரியஸ் ரீசன்ஸ் தே டோன்ட் ஃபாலோ தட். ஸோ இட் இஸ் த ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டி ஆஃப் சோஷியல் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் டு யூஸ் our influence, use our relationship with the people and help them to protect the environment. It is going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. That's why we call that as a challenge. மற்ற சேலஞ்சோட include these environmental issues as a challenge. So it is the responsibility of you and me as social workers to protect the environment. Use the people. Let them protect their own environment. வீட்டுக்கு வாழ்க்கையில் ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டோட ஒர்க் பண்ணிங்கன்னா ஒரு லைஃப்பில் ஒரே ஒரு மரநாள் வளர்க்க வைங்க, ரைட்? ஊரில் ஒரு 100 சில்ட்ரன் இருக்காங்க, 100 பேர் ஒரு மரம் வளர்த்தாங்கன்னா தென் இட் பிகம்ஸ் அ தோப்பு. அப்படி தானே? 100 மரம் இருந்துச்சுன்னா தோப்பு, ரைட்? அதே ஊரில் 1000 பேர் இருந்தாங்கன்னா ஃபாரஸ்ட் ஆயிரும், ரைட்? பீப்புள் ஹவ் டன் இட். இப்போ சார் இருக்காங்க, இஸ் அ லிவிங் எக்ஸாம்பிள். எவ்வளோ மரங்கள் அந்த சிறுவனூரில் மொட்டை காடான இடம். சாருடைய கேம்பஸ்க்கு நீங்கள் தான் கேம்ப் போயிருக்கீங்களே, யூ ஹவ் சீன் so much of trees are there. So it is possible with our effort in bringing the people together so that we all will put our hands together and protect the Mother Earth. So thank you for the opportunity, and I will ask my friend to share this PowerPoint with you, and wish you all the best. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your fabulous session. To start the third session, Sustainable Value Creation and Enrichment of Lives, a self-motivated and committed person with a well-developed leadership and management skills. Also be a team leader and associate curriculum architect of MMDG More Than a Mile Deep Global and programs coordinator of EAM Malawi and training officer of Action for Behavior Change in Partners in Hope. He have 12 years experience in designing and facilitating community development work. He is also the founder and director of 2 enterprises, AgriMarks and AB Associate in Malawi. I would like to call upon Mr. Alifas Kati Banda for our third session. We are delighted to have you, sir.
Well, thank you so much. Am I audible enough? Am I audible enough?
Yes,
there?
sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate for this time and thank you so much. I love this university. I've been there once. It's a beautiful place, and since the time I've been there, I've fallen in love with this place. So, because of time, let's just go quickly into our presentation. I asked Dr. Najarak to make the presentation to show the presentation for us. Doctor, can you share it?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you very well.
We welcome
I
you
hope
once
you're also
again.
hearing me. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you're also
Sorry for
hearing me.
the delay.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, shall we start?
Okay, are you sharing the presentation or I should do it?
If there is any difficulties, we can share from here. No issue.
Okay.
Shall I share from here?
Yeah, yes, share it from there. Okay. Oh, I can share it from here. That's okay. So,
Okay, you are sharing
you
from
see,
there.
yeah, yes, I can share it from here. That's okay.
If you have any
Can you see
difficulties,
it?
don't worry, we can share
Yeah.
from here.
Okay, but can you see it very well there? Is it visible? My presentation?
You just close your sharing, we will share from here.
Okay, fine. If you it's ready, let me know.
Okay, this is okay?
I can start.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. I think I want to thank the Vice Chancellor and all the protocol observed. I want to take this honor to thank you for this opportunity that I can share
Sorry.
and interact with you
Hello.
again. Hello, hello. Yes,
Can you
so I,
can you speak
yes.
little more louder, brother?
Okay. I'm saying I want to take this opportunity to thank you for this opportunity to share with you. So let's go to our third slide. Um, I was, so I just want to talk about I'm from Agrimax, and that's about our history. Fourth slide. We have been asked to talk about sustainable. So we have been talking about sustainable. What is sustainable value chain creation and enrichment of life? Sustainable value chain and enrichment of life, basically, I think it's the whole idea of a business or social entrepreneurs, as we are talking about today, creating long-term value by acting on both opportunities and risk associated with economic, environmental, and social development. So it's also about the strategic thinking about the values that sustains the organization and the context in which it exists. And I think when we talk about sustainable value chain, I think we need to begin to think that this is something that is beyond money and how we sustain it. It is about the whole value chain that sustains a business. It is about people, about customers, infrastructures. It is about the environment, the relationships, the culture that exists that sustains the value of a business, of a product. So if you're a manager and you want to create a value chain in your organization or a company, think about how that is related with people. I think sustainable value chain creation is about being green friendly. I think we've already seen how the previous presenter has enably talked about being green friendly. I think it's also about being about environmental, social, green entrepreneurship. Now, I want you to think about this picture. What are you seeing in this picture? This picture is one of the companies in China. And China today contributes about 70% of the global pollution comes from China. And it says about 700 million tons of environmentally waste are created annually from China. What a big thing that this country is doing. I want you to, if you're there, I want you to play that video. I'm gonna play this video, and I want you to see what is it that you're seeing. What is it that you're seeing in that picture? Look at what you're seeing. Look at what is happening. Oh God. This is what we are doing to the environment. Look at that. You see, a friend of mine shared that picture to me a week ago. It happened this week. This week in Mozambique, in Maputo. There are floods and many things have been taken away. So as a company, as an organization, when we think about creating sustainable value chain and the enrichment of life, we have a rationale. Now, our rationale looks at defining what is value. What is value? And for whom? And for what? And how? So when you talk about sustainable value chain creation, you want to answer those questions. What is value? For whom and for what? I think there is an organization there called Garism Industries. This is how they look at it. They look at maximizing their economic value. They also look at the environment, but also they also look at catering well for the global community, the larger community. So it's not just about the money that they create as a company, it's also about the environment and also the whole community. Now for us, when we think about value, we look at people, and people are our customers. And these are people, the customers are our community. And in the community, there are children, there are youth, there are women, there are our mothers, there are men, there are our fathers. There's the whole environment. So when you talk about value, you need to begin to think about children, about the youth, about the men and women, about the whole environment. So there is actually a framework that we use, and we have adopted the framework from Florina Luc Defraud. He talks about the value. What is the value and where are its sources? And how is this value created? So the cornerstone of creating, sustainable value is to define in this particular framework of value. For us as a company, as an organization, our value, when we talk about value creation, our strategy is to use what we call the social incubation. When I was in Pereira University, I was so founded by the environment. And also, you guys, I was taken to your incubation center, where there are so many things that students are doing, wonderful students. But I think it is very important, and I also feel this is what you're doing, to begin to move what you're doing in the university into the community to create social incubation. And we are creating social incubations for the sake of transforming the situations in those communities. And they could be different situations that the community may have, but we want to create a place where people can learn and begin to transform their situation. And how do we do that? Of course, we use a profile. We want to profile the situation, and we use a concept what we call ARA. And ARA is called acting, reflecting, and acting. And as I said, we want to begin by understanding what is the current situation in the country, in the area, in the business, or in any place where you're working. Then we also go ahead and begin to define, okay, value now, and for whom? Is it for children, for men, for women, for the environment? Then when we think about this, we now also begin to think, now from today, 5 to 10 years from now, what should be the ideal situation? And this situation should be for whom and for what? Then from there, as a community, we begin to create changes that we would want to create. What changes do we want to create that these things should be valuable? And these changes should be for whom and for what? So that is a profile that we use to think and to discuss when creating a sustainable value chain. So one of the things that we do as an organization is also training, as I said. And our training or our training and learning philosophy is that we want to create individuals and communities, number one, who can form. Number two, who can inform. Number three, who can perform. So that's our philosophy. And how do we do that? We want people that can form ideas, innovations, technologies, social technologies for their own community that can be able to begin to transform their community. The second thing that people that we work in the social incubators, we want people that can be able to inform others. Many people just want to know for themselves. I think that is very wrong. We need to begin to move from a concept of you as students, you as learners, just knowing for yourself. Now, you need to learn and begin to inform others. And how do we do that? You begin to reflect on your situation. Then you begin to look at what are the things that are going today and what will be the situation in the next 5 to 10 years. Then you begin to act in a way that helps others and the environment to be a better place to be. So a learner should be able to inform others. And I like you as social workers. Your main role, as my former presenter said, is to create awareness, because you live with people, you create relationships, and your role should be to inform what is happening in the environment. And the other thing that we want our students and our communities is to perform. We don't want communities of students that just sit around. We want them to do something else. And let me just pause there by saying, today we have so many students that are graduating from universities or globe across the world. But one of the problems is that they lack opportunities for job. It's a big problem. But I think for us as social workers, we want to be people that even after we have graduated, we don't want to wait to be employed. We want to go and begin to perform in our social communities what we have learned. Because we have been informed, we are there to inform, we want to perform. So we don't want to have us as students from Premier University that are just staying. No. Us from this department should be people that are able to form and to work. Now, what is our motivation when we do this? So when we are creating a sustainable value chain and thinking about sustainable value chain, I think we need to be motivated by how we live and how we lead. Think about yourself, how you live and how you live. How you live now as a person. How you live now as a student. And how are you going to live after graduating from that particular school, after graduating from that particular community, or even after your death? You see, when I went to Premier University, I was so amazed by the heart of the father of this university. Peria Maniami had a great vision. Today, after he has left this world, we still continue to think about him. He's still transforming communities' life. He's still changing Tamil Nadu. So we have to think about how we live and how we live. The second thing that motivates us in creating sustainable value chain and enriching life is how we learn and how we lead. You see, most of us who have gone to university and have learned, we need to begin to lead, to begin to change the status quo. Now we are talking about the social and the green, revolution. We need to lead that through whatever we have learned. And another thing that motivates us as a company and as an organization is how we laugh and how we love. You see, things can be good for you today because you have money, you're going to school, you have a family, and you can laugh about that. But do you really love your environment? Do you love your country? So how you laugh and love should motivate us as social entrepreneurs. I want to end this presentation by this quotation from a friend of mine, from a book that I read many, many years ago. It says, not enjoyment, not sorrow is our destiny. See, not enjoyment, not sorrow is our destiny. How we act, that each tomorrow can be a better today than today. So as I conclude, I want to encourage you to think about tomorrow. How are you going to make tomorrow a better place than today? Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate for this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your fabulous session. The fourth session, Global Social Entrepreneurship, efficient, organized individual, hardworking, dependable with absolute discretion, and excellent attention to detail. A well disciplined, focused, and self motivated with strong development planning, management, program monitoring, and evaluation. He's able to work under pressure and minimum supervision. He's a team player, logical thinker, and he's able to learn, adapt, and promote new ethical standards while maintaining high levels of integrity. I would like to invite Mr. Matthias James Chindungwa Banda, Vice Chairperson and a focal person of Malawi Health Equity Network. Now we welcome you, sir, for the fourth session. The session is over to you, sir.
Hello? Hello, Matthias?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear
Hello?
us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
All right.
So we will share your PPT from here.
I think you beam from there.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
You can start. Sorry for the delay.
Okay.
No. Can you able to see your presentation?
Yes, I think it's okay.
Okay. Okay, you
Can
can
I
start
start?
now.
Can I start?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, thank you very much. I think in the first place, I'd like to thank you, our chancellors, the senior staff, our students, and all viewers out there for giving me this platform to share with you on global social entrepreneurship. So, yes, once again, my name is Matthias Chindungo, and I work as the executive director for a local non-governmental organization here in Malawi, which is called NECOS in short. So I'll run quickly on the presentation outline. So I'll give the background of social entrepreneurship, and then I'll also share the best practices, and then why social entrepreneur, and then also some of the social entrepreneurship trends, and then we also tag on the social entrepreneurship types, and then what makes social entrepreneurs different, and then we also look at the importances of entrepreneurship, and then finally also look at some of the challenges of social entrepreneurs. Yes, so let's proceed with the presentation. Next slide. So to start with, entrepreneurship is an age-old concept, but the recent years have been several. I think I have to minimize this side. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, sure. So yeah, I was saying that entrepreneurship is an age-old concept, but the recent years have seen several varieties on the traditional entrepreneur. So take for instance the independent professional, and then the common denominator among all of these different types of entrepreneurs is their personal objectives and vision. This presentation zooms in one specific type, and that's the social entrepreneurship. So this entrepreneur's primary goal is to generate and realize solutions for social issues. I think referring to my fellow friends, the former presenters, as you noticed, many of them have touched about the social issues, social changes. So this presentation draws much on social issues and then social changes as well. The organization, for example, run by the social entrepreneur justifies its existence by their ideas, ardor, and also compassion. And then social entrepreneurship is often associated with young change makers who are idealistic. So today we are presenting this more focusing to our students there in our university, and I think this presentation is very fruitful to you, because when we are talking of social entrepreneurs, we are referring to young change makers who are idealistic. So next slide. What is a social entrepreneur? I think that's a good question to all of us. To grasp a proper understanding of social entrepreneurship, it is the concept of entrepreneurship that first requires clarification. So here, I think what we are saying is that we can't jump to talk about social entrepreneurship, but I think it is first entrepreneurship that requires clarification. So entrepreneurship is a term that has been around for some centuries, mostly within the context of business ventures. It is often described as the process of starting a business, according to Martin and Osbeck. More specific, and they describe it as the combination of context in which an opportunity is situated. A set of personal characteristics required to identify and pursue this opportunity and the creation of a particular outcome. So this definition focuses more on entrepreneurship as a certain type of behavior, and can be seen as appealing since it is a campus's personal characteristics that are of one of acting importance of entrepreneurship as an occupation. Next slide. According to Godin, describes entrepreneurs as initiators. So they use money to build a profitable business that is larger than themselves. The goal of the entrepreneur is to build an entity, something that can grow and thrive once it's moving. So one good example of entrepreneur is Richard Branson, a British businessman and the founder of the Virgin Group, which comprises different types of enterprises. He started Virgin Records, a music label, in his university days. He later began an airline, Virgin Atlantic, and then Branson is known for his outlandish actions and slogans. So Branson is an entrepreneur who takes initiative, makes mistakes, starts again, and does not quit. Next slide. Yes, so the first slides, it was more of entrepreneurship as the basics before coming to the core business of entrepreneurship. So this is our main business for this presentation. But as I said, I think sharing with you on some of the basics of entrepreneurship before coming to the core business of social entrepreneurship as per this presentation. So according to Fora, defines social entrepreneurship as the creation of viable socioeconomic structures, relations, institutions, organizations, and the practices that yield and sustain social benefits. So on the other hand, according to Hubert and Hogg and also Quinn, it regards as the use of entrepreneurial behavior for social ends rather than for profit objectives, or alternatively, that the profits generated are used for the benefit of a specific disadvantaged group. So in their turn, describe social entrepreneurship as the creation of social value through innovative entrepreneurial business models. It is comparing that each definition includes the creation of value in the area of social economic issues. So as you can see, entrepreneurship is focusing much on the social change, coming with innovations that will benefit more of others. Next slide. Social entrepreneurship is therefore also often viewed as an altruistic way of running a business. For instance, by starting new initiatives, mobilizing volunteers, or generating new knowledge. According to Carson, new knowledge is the main driver behind innovation in the advanced economy, and it is the entrepreneur's duty to translate this innovation through their initiatives and business into economic development. James defines a social entrepreneur as an individual who is starting or currently leading any kind of an activity, organization, or initiative that has a particularly social, environmental, or community objective. So in terms of narrow definition, social entrepreneurship is organizations must be driven by social value creation rather than value capture, and be market rather than non-market based. So I think that this slide is also referring to what I think our colleagues there in India you are also doing. The way I think that particular university, I think, was established, the way different institutions and companies are established is also good examples of social entrepreneurship. So I would like also to concur with my fellow Malawian who had also the similar presentation, that I think the big question that we have to bear in mind and also feel to answer is, what is it really that we are to do after graduating our studies? Is it that we are going to seek a job or invest in a social entrepreneurship? This is something good that we need also to be thinking around, because the world is facing a challenge just because everyone is seeking for a job and not coming with an innovative ideas, innovative solutions to create opportunity that can create a job and also come with different initiatives, programs, and projects to benefit more of the community, more of the disadvantaged society, and so forth. Next slide. So this is one of the best practice. I think more of my examples will be from like a world view point of view, because this presentation is more of a global presentation as perspective. So one of the best practice I think to share as a social entrepreneur is, I think, Tom Van Den Beek. Is a social entrepreneur and the cornerstone of Compias initiatives. His organization, the tipping point reflects his belief in creativity, imagination, originality, and resilience, whereby man can become a part of the nature rather than dominate it. So I think when you have time, since I'm running short of time, I will urge, I think, you, the students, and also everyone who is more interested in this best practice, just to Google the tipping point, and then you get more information. Next slide. Why a social entrepreneur? So a social entrepreneur, on the other hand, shares the characteristics of a standard business owner in the area of innovative and financially viable company. Despite the objective of owning a successful business, their primary goal is still to generate and realize solutions for social values. So their enterprise existence is justified by their ideas, passion, and also compassion. And then social entrepreneurship is about seeking and implementing innovative and sustainable solutions for social health and environmental issues. So this is, I think, more of what I have also explained in some of the first slides. And then you can also visit the example of Tom van den Beek as the best example of this slide. Next. Okay, and then I think these are some of the entrepreneur trends. If you want to invest in social entrepreneur trends, I think you have also to be knowledgeable with this, and this is also very important for us, especially with students. And then one of the trends, there are about 5, and then one of them, I think it's openness, orderness, extraversion, altruism, and neutralism. So I think when you have time, I would urge everyone also to go through each of these. It's well explained. And at the end of this, I think presentation, I also give some of the references so that you can take your time and then go through them and then you reflect and see how best you can prepare to invest yourself through these 5 big trends as a social entrepreneur in the near future. Next slide. There are also types, this is very important, types of social entrepreneurship. The first type of entrepreneurship is the community social entrepreneur, according to Dr. Johnson 2021. So this entrepreneur seeks to serve the social needs of community within a small geographical area. Entrepreneur initiatives could be anything from creating job opportunities for marginalized members to building a community center. Social entrepreneurs on this scale are usually individuals or small organizations, microfinance loans, some of the examples. And entrepreneurs work directly with the members of the community, both community members and local organizations. So this is the non-profit social entrepreneur is also another type of social entrepreneurs, according to Dr. Johnson. And then these entrepreneurs are focused on social, not material gain, meaning they prioritize social well-being over traditional business needs. So one good example for non-profit social entrepreneur is the Goodwill Industries. Serves as a great example. In 1902, the company started employing poor residents to work with their donated goods and then reinvested all profits into job training programs. So as you can relate to the previous presentations, they have been talking of, creating jobs for the development, managing our environment, all types of the assets and the resources. We talk with the people and what encompasses the environment. So the Goodwill Industries is also one good entrepreneur when it comes to the non-profit social entrepreneur type. Next slide. And then the third type of social entrepreneurs is transformational social entrepreneur. This type of entrepreneurship focus on creating a business that can meet the social needs that governments and other business aren't currently meeting. So you can look at your country setup. What are the social needs that are there and that the government and other business aren't currently not meeting. So the transformation category, they become large organizations with rules and regulations, sometimes growing to the point of working with getting integrated into government bodies. And we have also some of the examples. For example, accelerators like the Social Innovation Warehouse, great examples of this social entrepreneurs type. They specifically empower other impact-driven entrepreneurs to create positive change. This then creates a system of interconnected businesses focused on social benefits. Next slide. And then the fourth type of social entrepreneurship is the global social entrepreneurs. So these entrepreneurs seek to completely change social systems in order to meet major social needs globally. It's often where big companies end up when they realize their social responsibility and begin concentrating on positive change as opposed to just points. It's also where the largest charity organizations, I think, such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation stand. The global need in question can be anything from free access to education to clean water. This is usually a lofty goal that spans continents and links many organizations and interests together. I think some present also mentioned of the networking, coming together and make a positive world in development, in social changes. So this this slide is also linked to that particular other presentations on how we can network and be on top of the global view for positive change and realize benefits more for the society, more for the disadvantaged communities. Next slide. What makes a social entrepreneur different? Based on GEM interviews with approximately 150,000 adults in 49 countries during 2009, stated that in Southeast Asia, most social entrepreneurs assist the poor by enabling them to undertake better livelihood activities or run their enterprises viably, something they do by launching business or for-profit enterprises. The GEM survey also shows that about 5 in every 10 individuals involved in social entrepreneurship reinvest profits towards the social goals set by the activity, organization, or initiative. More than a third of the world's social entrepreneur ventures rely on government funding, while family and banks are also important sources of funding for social entrepreneurs. So social entrepreneurs in Southern and Eastern Asia and MENA commit the highest level of own investment, estimated over 60%, while the lower share of own investment is in Sub-Saharan Africa, roughly 30%. Next slide. What is the importance of entrepreneurship as in general? So I'll move quickly on this one. One, accelerates economic growth, creating new products and services. They stimulate new employment, which ultimately results in the acceleration of economic development. Secondly, it also promotes innovation. Through the right practices of research and development, entrepreneurs bring new innovation that opens the door of new ventures, markets, technology, products, and services reach to improve people's lives. Promote social changes. Next slide. It also promotes research and industrial development. Next slide. It also develops and improves existing enterprises. So I have just, I think, highlighted the major points, but I think we as students, as we have our own time, will go in detail under each bullet to explore more what is particular about that bullet as importance of entrepreneurship. Next slide. I think we have also to mention some of the challenges of entrepreneurs so that as we would wish to invest in social entrepreneurship, we will also think of some of the mitigations on the challenges that some of the entrepreneurs are meeting right now. One is they rate themselves be led by other and compassion of certain societal issues. And then the issues of money also comes in, the issue of funding also comes in, but also it's not easy to keep people involved in the initiative in order to create a sustainable business. You know, when you are talking of realizing results, realizing profit for the general community or disadvantaged group, you need to think of strategies, you need to think of the objectives, you need to think of the project, you need to think of the organization, you need to think of the people to engage. It's a lot that is involved. You need to think of the funding itself. So it's not easy for a social entrepreneur to come up with all these as assets and resources, human resources and whatever, and then realize results. Next slide. Yes, so these are just some of the references. I think I don't need to go through each and every reference. As you have your own time, I think out there, I think you have to visit all these references. I think that will also help you to understand in depth what is all about the global social entrepreneurship. So that's the end of my presentation. And then thank you once again for the platform that I was given to share on this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your amazing session. Now, I like to call upon our inspiring personality and hardworking, who always motivate students to way the best way. That's none other than Head Department of Social Work, Dr. S. Parmeshwaran, sir, to felicitate the gathering.
Hello. Very good evening and good afternoon to one and all. So it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the felicitation address in this international symposium. We are glad to be here. Most of us are virtually to witness the grand success of this program. First of all, I take this opportunity to thank our resource persons, Mr. Gregory sir and Dr. A. Elton sir. He's a stalwart of social work profession for accepting our request to be a resource person for this international symposium. And I also thank our friends from Malawi and Norway. I hope that if I am right, this is the second program in our department. We are organizing the international symposium, second international symposium. So I must thank Mr. Alphys and Mr. Matthias and Mr. Evind from Norway. So next, I take this opportunity to congratulate the organizing secretary, Dr. Nyanraj, for taking this topic, because the green social work is a transdisciplinary and a holistic approach to the environmental crisis, which challenge the social work profession to incorporate it. So that's why it's need of the hour. So I must thank Dr. Nyanraj, organizing secretary of this program, and I also thank Dr. Anand Jarad sir for giving this opportunity to deliver this address. And I also thank our students friends from Department of Social Work, Periyar Maniamma University, and Department of Social Work from Rajas College, Thiruvayaru. And most of us are joined together through online mode. I also wish them all success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful felicitation address. Every event has an end. To end this international symposium formally, I would like to call our young and dynamic assistant professor, Dr. S. Nyanraj, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Before concluding my vote of thanks, all the participants are requested to put on your mobile with the chat box. Before ending this vote of thanks, we will post our feedback form, so you can take 30 minutes from the feedback form. After that it will be closed, so that I request all the online participants and other participants, you need to switch on your mobile and getting into the Zoom meeting. Thank you. It is my privilege to propose this vote of thanks for this international symposium on green social work and green entrepreneurship for environmental conservation. First of all, I would like to acknowledge my institution for providing this such kind of infrastructure to conduct this event. I also record my sincere thanks to our Vice Chancellor for his immediate acceptance and to presided over this event. Not only he gave permission, he also continuously giving a great support and motivation to us. From the depth of the heart, I thank today's speaker, Mr. Gregory sir. He is the founder of and the director of Voice Trust from Trichy for his excellent presentation and shared his experience working with the nature and farming community. I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Relton sir, controller of examiner, Bishop Keeper College, Trichy, for his thought-provoking speech and his great support to this environment. He also contributed his knowledge and experience to organize this event. I would like to thank Mr. Alphys Banda, founder director Agrimark and AB Associates from Malawi, for his outstanding presentation, and also he enlightened the Periyar Institute of Science and Technology, what we are doing, what we are practicing here, because he visited nearly 6 days here, so that he shared a lot of experience about our institute. Thank you so much, brother. I also express my sincere gratitude to Mathias James, Executive Director of Nexus from Malawi, for his inspirational speech and extraordinary message that you have given to the young budding social workers. So thank you so much, brother. I mention my deep sense of gratitude to my beloved Ivan Lilleson's Chief Executive Officer of Job for Development Norway, for his continuous and constant support to organize this kind of events, to exchange the knowledge and sharing experience from the country to and country, not only country, continent to continent. He is supporting to share our experience to the many countries. After that, I would like to thank my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Anand Gerard Sebastian, Director, Center for Rural Development, for his support and encouragement to conduct this event. From the beginning onwards, he gave lot of guidance and gave his fullest cooperation and coordination to make this event grand successfully. Without himself, this will not be here, because from the beginning of this plan, he worked a lot and also connected many resource person, and also we are planned for the title, so that he connected many experts from the various places. After that only we finalized this kind of topic. So thank you very much, sir. I also thank Dr. Parameswaran, Head Department of Social Work, PMIST, for his great support and made me free to organize this international symposium. And I would like to thank Mr. Tanabal for his tireless support to organize this event. So thank you, sir. And also I would like to thank our research scholars of Department of Social Works for their coordination and tireless support to organize this event. I will be failing my duty if I am not thank all the participants from the various institutions, particularly some of the participants directly participated from Rajas College and Barn Circus College. So I would like to thank all the participants from the various institutions. I also express my lovable thanks to our own students, social work first year and second year students, for their great support to organize this, to complete this event grand success. I would like to mention some participated institutions from the various places of Tamil Nadu. not only from Tamil Nadu, from other country, so that it will be fulfill Thandai Hands Over College Autonomous Perambalur, Kaveri College for Women Tiruchi, Jamal Muhammad College Tiruchi, Tamil University Tanjavur, Mother Teresa Women University Kodaikanal, the American College Madurai, Bonsakas College for Women Tanjavur, St. Joseph College, College of Arts and Science Tiruchi, Chennai DG Vaishnava College, Madarandagam School, AJ Trust Kadalur, Kiranur Farmer Producer Company, Dr. Ambedkar Government College Arts and Science, Mar Graziers College for Arts and Science, Women Power Charitable Trust, Total Land Care Government Arts and Science College, Nexus from Malawi, Rajas College Thiruvayaru, Bisayupur College Tiruchi, Rice Organization, St. Joseph College for Arts and Science, Autonomous Kadalur, Adaikilamada College Vallam, Indira Gandhi National University, St. Paul University from Canada. I would like to thank all the participating institution for this event made very grand successful, and also I would like to thank our technical team, particularly Ilango sir and our Ramesh sir and Radha sir. If I am forgetting any other people, please apologize me. So I would like to once again thank all the participants from the India, from abroad. So I thought this symposium will be a eye opener for you. So we have to become a entrepreneur and also love nature, love each other, love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Recording stopped.
தமிழ் யூனிவர்சிட்டி வந்ததுக்கு நன்றி. அதில் நேரில் வந்ததுக்கு தமிழ் யூனிவர்சிட்டியை மட்டும் மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க, அதனால் அதையும் சொல்லியாச்சு. சரி, ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் தான், அதோட நம்ம க்ளோஸ் பண்ண போகிறோம். இங்கே ஒரு குரூப் ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்க போகிறோம், அதோட கிளம்ப போகிறோம். வி தாட் ஆஃப் க்ளோசிங் இட் பை எக்ஸாக்ட்லி 3 மினிட்ஸ் கூட போயிடுச்சு. 1 நிமிஷம் தான் இப்போ எடுத்துக்கிறேன், சரியா? இன்றைக்கி கான்ஃபரன்ஸில் எவ்வளோ பேர்த்துக்கு வந்து ஃபுல்லாக ரீச் ஆச்சுன்னு தெரில, இருந்தாலும் ஒரு கன்சால்டேட் பண்ணி சொல்ல வேண்டியது எங்களோட கடமை அப்படின்றனால சொல்கிறோம். இங்கே நம்ம அழைச்சது வந்து ஒன்லி சோஷியல் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ், சோஷியல் ஒர்க் ஃப்ரெட்டர்னிட்டி மட்டும்தான் நம்ம அழைச்சிருந்தோம், கூப்பிட்ருந்தோம். அதில் நீங்கள் வந்து சீரியஸாக எடுத்துக்கிட்டு உங்கள் டீச்சர்ஸு சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க, இல்லை நீ போய் தான் ஆகணும்னு கூட கட்டாயப்படுத்தியிருப்பாங்க. சரி வேறு வழியே இல்லை போகலாம் அப்படின்னு கூட சிலர் வந்து வந்திருக்கலாம். இதில் எதா ரீசனாக இருந்தாலும் we are in a very very crucial